With status updates on contracts and more, this is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we move on, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Rambles with notifications on, and don't forget to like the video. Announcing that Baron Corbin won the Jiu Jitsu World League Blue Belt Tournament, it was said that first place for Baron Corbin, double medals for PR White Angel, and third place for Bird.BJJ. Thank you to the Rudos teammates and coaches. We never stop. Asked if he thinks artificial intelligence will eventually end all human life, Xavier Woods responded on the AI for Humans podcast. 100% I heard this theory, and I'm not a conspiracy guy, but this one made a lot of sense. Let me give you the backstory first. So my dad was in the military. He was a paratrooper. He told me one time, I think like PlayStation 2 had just come out, and I was so excited. I was like, this is the craziest technology the world has ever seen, Dad. He's like, man, when you were like a dot in my nutsack, I'm in the military, and they can use a satellite to read the bottom of my shoe. Now we're 20 years later. What you have, it's not even close to what they have. That blew my mind. I've always kept that with me because it was such an offhand comment to him, but it changed my life. So I heard this theory a few months ago that the government knows what's coming and they know what they have. So they start putting those ideas into movies so that when they start to happen, we're not as weirded out about them, a la AI. We've seen Terminator and we're 30 years removed from Terminator. As it slowly creeps up, the same things are happening. And we're not doing anything because it's like, oh, well, it's fine. This stuff, that's a fantasy. Some stuff's going on. Not the same, but the same stuff's happening. If AI is intelligent as it quote unquote supposed to be, then why would it not get rid of the cancer that's destroying the earth? During a WWE live event, Dragon Lee would swap his mask for a fans at ringside. Here's the clip. Recalling his match for the then debuting CM Punk in WWE, where Punk and Chad Russell Simpson faced Maven and Simon Dean on Sunday Night Heat, Maven said this on his YouTube channel regarding the bout going off script. The one thing management wanted, they wanted us to get the pinfall victory, the 1-2-3 on CM Punk, and for whatever reason, I have no clue. I mean, he wasn't a signed talent at the time, but he already had heat in the company. There were already feathers he had ruffled. I don't know how, and I don't know whose. Nova Simon Dean saw it different. Nova wanted to give the guy a chance, and Nova made the decision. Earlier on, when we were going over the match backstage, he said, once we come in, I'm going to knock you out, Punk. You roll to the 4. That way we can get the slam 1-2-3 on Simpson. I don't know why Simon wanted to protect Punk. It could have been a favor to Stevie, like Stevie asked us earlier in the day, or he might have seen in Punk what the entire world would come to see years later. Simon was always a good gauge of talent. He might have known that Punk, for whatever reason, had heat backstage, and he was doing everything in his power to protect him, knowing that if there was any trouble to be had, it was going to fall on us, and by us, I mean Simon. Taking to X, a fan going by the screen name of J_Waffles26 posted this video of his interaction with Bayley at a recent WWE live event. Revealing how AEW President Tony Khan puts together pay-per-view events, Chris Jericho noted on his podcast, anytime you have a little bit of a street fight type thing, it's like, should you put a buffer match after it? And I was like, Tony likes to structure his cards with part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 3 is always match 7, 8, and 9, let's say, and I don't have a problem going on after that match. Somebody has to. You could have put on a nonsensical nothing match, but to me, this is the way the card is structured. You want 3 exciting matches, and I thought if anybody could follow the street fight, we could. We did. It took a bit to get the crowd into it, but I was very happy with how we did it. Speaking of Jericho, this was said regarding his contract status with AEW, as Ringside News wrote that Fightful provided an update on some top contracts in the pro wrestling world. In that update, it was noted that Chris Jericho is under a deal through at least the end of 2025. In a video, Randy Orton would be tricked into taking Logan Paul's United States title.
Stole Logan's championship belt and gave it to Randy Orton.
You are champion! Alright! What?
I'm gonna need this.
What happened? You lost it?
Yeah, I think I misplaced it. Thank Randy Orton. You got it.
Going over when the WWE deal of Alexa Bliss could be coming to an end, Ringside News wrote Fightful provided a bit of an update on Alexa Bliss's current WWE contract status. It was noted that Bliss has a WWE deal at least through 2023. WWE will often freeze contracts for talent who are out of action, so this has likely happened with Alexa Bliss. We have not heard any official confirmation that they are tacking on all that missed time onto her deal, but it's reasonable to assume that they will add on that time. When it comes to the latest information on a possible dream match between CM Punk and Stone Cold Steve Austin, it was said that Ringside News exclusively reported a tenured member of the creative team told us this week that Paul Levesque just got back from the West Coast, so we're just starting to talk about creative for Punk and everything else. After checking back about a possible Steve Austin versus CM Punk match, we were told that there has been no talk of Austin versus Punk. This may be disappointing news for a number of fans. We were additionally told that Triple H was on the West Coast all week. When Triple H came back, we were told that they talked SmackDown and Raw, nothing else. CM Punk and Austin have a history that dates back to a WWE Raw encounter on June 13th, 2011, and joint appearances in promotional segments for the WWE 13 video game alongside Jim Ross. Recent reports have added fuel to the fire of anticipation surrounding this long-awaited dream match. There is a growing momentum behind the scenes, suggesting that a showdown between Steve Austin and CM Punk may finally become a reality. Only time will tell if that match materializes at this point, but it doesn't seem like it's on the agenda right now. Going back to the topic of professional wrestling contracts, this was said regarding Randy Orton's WWE deal by Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful. Randy Orton had been out of action for a year and a half before his return to the ring at WWE Survivor Series, but that may cause him to be around in WWE even longer. Orton publicly teased free agency for the first time in 2019 before signing a new 5-year contract with WWE at a time when the company mass signed a ton of talent to long-term deals. However, one WWE higher-up said that they would be surprised if WWE did not end up extending his current deal. Ringside News added that in regards to Randy Orton's contractual status, it was initially set to extend until at least the fall of 2024, leaving him with approximately a year remaining on his deal. However, following his absence from WWE for nearly 18 months, sources within the company have suggested the potential addition of injury time to Orton's contract, which could potentially keep him with WWE until 2026. While some higher-ups anticipate this outcome, it remains a possibility and its confirmation is pending. It's worth noting that there have been instances where injured WWE talent did not have their contracts extended due to their involvement in other roles or projects. However, in Orton's case, it does not appear to be the same situation, although further evaluation is required to determine the final decision. After being attacked by Randy Orton on Smackdown, Jimmy Uso can be seen selling the effects of it as he's nearly rolled up into carpet by the ring crew. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.